Hey guys, it's Thorn. It is almost bedtime. I'm just here trying to wrap up my to-do list before I head off. But I thought I'd share an anecdote that you might appreciate. So in the last few blog posts that I've written, I've really been focusing on kind of my latest bout of depression and mental health stuff, and just kind of, like writing about my life. And anyway, I decided to go back to therapy just because I'm recently insured, and I've never been insured to the extent where I've actually been able to see a therapist. I've always paid out of pocket, which is crazy expensive, crazy expensive. Like, I'm not buying groceries this week expensive. So it's been a long time since I've been able to go, and I decided to just go ahead and do it since I can now. Like, that mental health care is this great luxury in the United States. So I'm availing myself of this. Anyway, so for those of you who've never been, your first few sessions, like your first 2, 3, 4 sessions, it's background stuff. You end up talking about your family, like what was growing up like, just to sort of orient the therapist. And today was session number 2, and we got to talking about religion, and it finally happened. This was the session where I had to explain Wicca to somebody in just a few minutes. And this is the sort of thing that keeps people from therapy. Like, they think that they're really worried about finding a pagan-friendly therapist. And honestly, the best strategy that I've found is to find somebody who is not from, or at least not educated in, wherever you are. So I'm here in North Carolina, and when I'm researching mental health professionals, I prefer Californians. I have to explain less to Californians. The last woman I saw went to Berkeley, and I picked her because she went to Berkeley. I was just like, oh, she's definitely met weirder people than me. Awesome. So that can be a strategy that works. You don't need somebody who's pagan. You don't need somebody who's religious. I've definitely had successes with Christian therapists. They just need to be open-minded, and they need to care enough about you and their own fucking job to not be bent on deciding that all of your problems are rooted in your religion. And I honestly, I've always had really good luck when that has been my search criterion, is where they're from or where they're educated. Anyway, so you cannot explain your weirdo fringe religion to somebody in an intelligent way in half an hour. You just can't do it. She was very polite about it, and she'd be like, okay, if I'm hearing you correctly, Wiccans believe A, B, and C and practice X, Y, and Z. And I'd be like, well, sort of, but it sounds really stupid when you say it out loud. And she'd be like, well, what do you think? Anyway, I imagine that this is a problem for, all manner of committed religious people. There's just no way to make what you do sound not stupid to an outsider. It just sounds stupid sometimes. Particularly, it's not even like I'm practicing Wicca the way most people practice Wicca. I'm practicing as a Gardnerian, which means that I've got to explain, obviously I can't explain a lot, but things like coven dynamics, what a working partner relationship looks like, because those relationships don't really have analogs in other things that people have in the world, so that's really challenging. Anyway, it was a little bit rough. I think I pulled it off, but yeah, religion just sounds stupid when other people say it, and my religion is no exception to that. So if you're thinking about therapy or you're looking for a therapist, just be aware that that can be a tricky thing, and you just got to kind of power through it and understand that a good therapist is not there to dissect your religious tradition, or they don't really think you're stupid. Okay? The whole point in talking about religion is just to orient things so that they can then help you, and understanding something about your worldview is part of that. So anyway, it was funny. I thought I would share. Hope you guys are having a good night.